Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Different by Design. I'm your host, Nick Treester, and today we are going to be viewing the Statler Hotel in Dallas. Now, this isn't just any old hotel. This place has quite a story that goes along with it. The hotel originally opened in 1956 as the Statler Hilton. It was praised as the first modern American hotel and was designed by William B. Tabler. This hotel featured many firsts for hotels like it, including conference centers on site and TVs in every room. It had over 20 floors and capable of hosting 2,200 people when it first opened. And this quickly became the staple of where people would want to stay when they came to Dallas in the 1950s and the 1960s and up until the 1970s. It really was a showplace, and it showcased a lot of new technology and also was able to attract business into the Dallas area. In 1956, when this building was built, it cost about $16 million and featured a reinforced slab/cantilever system to construct the building. At some point along the way, the Statler name went away, and this was folded up underneath the Hilton brand, and it continued that way until 1988, when Hilton sold the property to some Hong Kong investors, and they created what was known as the Dallas Grand Hotel. The Dallas Grand Hotel continued to operate until 2001 when this site was abandoned. There really wasn't much they could do with the building because it was full of asbestos and featured lead paint. So that all had to be removed if they were going to do anything with this building. There were many renovations over the years that took away from its mid-century design, just like this atrium that sat over the entryway. So these renovations kind of took away from the classical look that they originally had in 1956. Those would, of course, have to be removed. There was also a lot of structure damage due to water that had entered the building. So they, as you can see in this video, were trying to remove the water via ventilation. As you can see in this video that I did find inside the hotel when they started the renovation process, it was still filled with much of the furniture and fixtures from this being a low-rent hotel over its life. It was also noted that this building was accessible during the time it was vacant, and vandals were able to get inside and cause damage to the building and its fixtures. And so there was also some work that had to be done to remedy that. While it was vacant, of course, there were several attempts to bring it back to life, only for it to start and then stop again. But this building was really a gem of mid-century design, and so people wanted to keep it. And fortunately for us, some preservationists got involved, and they made sure that this building stood in a city that is always fast to develop. In 2014, they bought out the building and signed the deal to acquire the property, and then they began restoration. It took about $230 million to renovate this entire place, and they turned it into a hotel/apartment building complex. It's mixed-use development, but it does feature a hotel that is underneath the Hilton brands, and they feature it in their Curio collection, which is boutique hotels which have fewer rooms but nicer amenities. And so we decided to visit this place because it's a staple of mid-century design and Dallas architecture and modernism that can be found in Dallas, and it's also a historical landmark within the Dallas area. While walking through this lobby, you can see there's a lot of different features of the building that they restored and kept and tried to bring back so that it almost feels like going back in time when this place would have been brand new in the 1950s or the 1960s. Being able to experience the glory years of the 1950s and the 1960s is one of the pieces of this product that the hotel developers wanted to include in their experience, and that's part of the charm of this hotel, is being able to time travel. So, did you know this was the first place to have elevator music?
I did not know that. But now they got rid of it.
No more elevator music. That's right. When this hotel first opened, it had one of many firsts, including an elevator car which featured music in the background. This was one of the many technological advancements that they included in the original design. So just real quick, I figured I'd show what this place looked like before they started the renovation with all the water damage, vandalism, and clutter that they left behind. and what they're able to do with it. So I think this kind of gives you a contrast of just how much renovation was required.
This had been like concierge or something.
This is where all the banquet rooms are.
The what?
The banquet rooms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know this was making a whole other.
So this was actually a huge piece of Dallas becoming a major southwestern center of business and commerce. So they're able to offer conference centers within the hotel itself, which was a kind of a major breakthrough. So that enabled a lot of the corporations to bring conventions here, commerce here. The following are some examples of things that they left in the building or completely restored to bring the building back to its original charm. As you can see, there was a lot of little minor details that they thought of when they went through this building. Yeah, check this out. So that's the mail chute right there. That goes down to the lower level. Pretty neat. This part is actually a bar that they have on the lower level. It's got a bowling alley inside and a full service bar, and then it's also got some games and a game room. Pretty neat experience if you want to have something to bite to eat or maybe a drink, or you want to entertain some guests. But this is on the lower level, and this whole place was restored, including that stained glass that's on the back wall there. That was original to the building, and they carefully restored that to match the original glamour that this place would have had. One thing to note while we're walking down this hallway is those caps. That looks like a doorway right there, but I believe that's where they capped the original doorways to expand the rooms to give more space. Alright, so this is the bathroom in here. Huge mirror. They've got a tub, and then they've actually got this shower alcove here. Wedged to put everything. And then this toilet is actually separated by glass. That's a glass pane there. And then a glass pane here. They've got these cool Statler branded soaps that are nostalgic. Pretty cool little touch there. Yeah, this is a very luxurious bathroom setup. Of course, the original Statler was pretty plain and simple. Here's some old footage I found of the original hotel, and just look how cramped these rooms were back in the day. The modern rooms have been enlarged. Basically, I think they took 2 different rooms and expanded. And then, of course, here's some footage of when the hotel was abandoned and what kind of process they had to go through to be able to get it into the hotel room that it is today. Hi, Sammy. This is the room accommodations. So, from what I gather, these rooms were expanded. So this would have been 2 rooms at one time. I think 1 window pane per room was what they had, but of course times have changed and people want more space, so they have expanded these rooms. So pretty nice setup. You got a couch here, and then they've awkwardly placed this TV right in the middle of the two windows, but these two windows overlook downtown, which has a pretty nice view. Over here is the park. So this is actually what used to be the original Statler parking across the street. And this was, I believe, torn down in 2006 or 2007. But there would have been a parking garage right here, but they turned that into a park. So that's one of the reasons why the Statler originally was disused, is because parking was an issue down here. They couldn't put the volume of cars in that they wanted to. And then now they've completely removed the old parking garage. So there's actually valet only. But one of the neat features of this little park is, well, they've got the old park sign from one of the parking garages. Incredibly, I was also able to find some vintage footage of this actual parking garage. It wasn't just your regular parking garage. They had a whole mechanical system that would bring these cars off of their levels and deliver them to the driver. But these windows, I believe the windows are original. They would have folded outwards, but they've got some type of fastener on here that I think prevents it from opening up to the outside. Yeah, this is just a overview of the room. Another issue that they had when they were rebuilding most of this is the ceilings were only 9 foot. So I believe they somehow increased the size of some of these ceilings. I don't know if they had to remove parts of the cantilever system. This was all built on a cantilever and curtain wall setup. So that somewhat hindered their ability to renovate and rebuild these suites. Next, we are going to go up to the Rooftop. This hotel features a rooftop bar and pool club. Typically during the day, they have a pool party, which you can attend. And then at night, they transform this into a kind of nightclub rooftop bar setting. As you can see, it's got great views of the skyline. This obviously wasn't a part of the original hotel, but it was added later when they did the renovations. So it's kind of neat. You can sit up here, have maybe a couple cocktails, and just converse among the Dallas skyline, which is pretty neat to think about because this skyline likely wouldn't be as big or as prominent without the building of this hotel back in the 50s to help jumpstart the economic prosperity of this region and of this city. And as you can see here, obviously there's a pretty big party going on later in the night. People just hanging out. I think you can access this without having a hotel room. And then, of course, this is the next day. This is another pool that they have that's built into one of the rooftops. It's a really nice atmosphere. And as you can see, most of the pools, since they are built into the rooftop, are pretty shallow. Obviously, water weighs a lot. So you have to be able to design a structure that's going to be able to support that amount of weight. So yeah, I mean, as you can see with this pool here, it's a little bit more shallow than probably your average pool. So I wouldn't recommend, jumping in there and going swimming, but it is probably a nice place to sit around and relax. And as you can see on the exterior, they were able to keep the mid-century charm with this building and keep the exterior true to its original 1950s construction. And here is their ground side street level cafe that they have on the first floor. We went and got breakfast there the next morning. Nice little cafe. Got your average little breakfast there. So if you made it this far, go ahead and give me a like, and hope to see you again soon.